Hey everybody, Brock Frady here, helping you enjoy your ride. In today's video, we're going to take a look at a 2021 Lexus RX350 FSport. The color on this RX350 is called Grecian water. Have you ever seen pictures of what the ocean water in Greece looks like? I think this is a pretty good representation. Never been to Greece. And in this video, we're gonna go over the inside, we're gonna go over the outside, we're gonna end up in the driver's seat, and I'm gonna show you all the features, all the buttons and controls from the perspective of the driver. But before we begin, I wanna take an opportunity to say a huge thank you to Flo Lexus of Greensboro in beautiful Greensboro, North Carolina, for the opportunity to film this beautiful Lexus RX350. I'll be sure to leave all of Flo Lexus contact information, including their website, in the description box below. For a long time, Lexus has been known to be conservative with their color combinations in their vehicles, and I think that this is kind of shattering the mold of that. Take a look at these triple beam LED headlights with all those L's in there. You see there is an L there, there. This even represents an L, and you can actually see L's all over Lexus vehicles. Look at the aggressive grille design, all that honeycomb beauty right there. Then you have the muted chrome look of this lip down here. Then you've got this kind of like a dark metallic wraparound, all wrapping around that big aggressive open grille. Lexus has had this design for a number of years, but they just keep tuning it and perfecting it, in my opinion. You're gonna see little dots on the bumper, and that's park assist. You've got another one right here. And they're all the way across the front, they're all the way across the back, and that's what's gonna beep when you get too close to something in parking lots or at lower speeds. This is a front headlight washer. That's where you can squirt off your headlights if you've got salt and other grime that's built up on your headlights. You also are going to see up front that there is a little triangle right there that's actually embedded into the glass, or behind the glass, I should say, kind of right at the rear view mirror. And that's a front facing camera. That's all a part of the safety feature. And if you've seen many of my videos before, you know that I've got a lot of Lexus videos. And one of the things that I pointed out on the early RX redesign was my love of this window. This is an actual window. It's not there just for looks. It's actually a functioning window, but I love how it starts. It kind of meets with the back glass, and then it starts here and it goes all the way to the front. That is such a cool thing. Also notice that you've got black, like a piano black gloss here on the outside of the rearview mirror, and then a chrome piece right there. That's really, really cool. That gives it a whole different look, especially in conjunction with that chrome piece all around the window casing there. LED turn signals that are integrated into the very ends of that rear view mirror there. And I pointed out on the front grille that you had that dark metallic finish trim around the aggressive front grille, where you have it right there on that rear diffuser. Another thing that you might notice, or you may not, is that you do not see a rear wiper on that rear glass. That's because the wiper has been integrated up into the upper spoiler there. It actually comes down and wipes and then goes back up. That is a fantastic design for aesthetics, because it, removes a wiper from the view of your beautiful RX350, but it also preserves the life of the wiper blade as well. This one is sitting on a set of beautiful Michelin Premier LTX tires. The tire size of this one is 233/35R20, so these are beautiful 20-inch piano black wheels. And you'll also notice that you have disc brakes in the rear there. Great for safety. They're also ventilated in the back, so they stay cooler. And you also have big old ventilated disc brakes right up front. And you can see the fact that I said that the back ones were ventilated. Well, that is the vent that runs in the middle of that front rotor and the rear rotor as well, in order to keep them cool during spirited driving. Let's open up the back and take a look. As long as I have the key fob on my person, I can just approach the RX350, do a little kick there, and it's gonna open up the rear tailgate. The thing I love about it is that feature actually works as long as you have the key fob on your person. One of the things that I've always loved about Lexus vehicles is that it's got a 40-20-40 split rear seat. So you can see if you've got a passenger here, then you can fold this one down or that one down, and you can still carry big items in the RX350 and still have room for a rear passenger. Tonneau cover here is nice and heavy. I like that. So you can just take that and slide that into the side portions there and lock that in. And now you've got a kind of like a trunk, a concealed trunk. You've got a nice little LED light here, and that's on the passenger side of the rear of the RX350. You also have one that's going to be on the driver's side of the rear of the RX350 as well. A nice little LED light. That's going to really help you out whenever you're looking around the trunk portion of the RX350 at night. And then this is going to be a kind of like a big pocket, a case for a big net. And that net is going to secure itself, or you're going to secure it right there on either end of the rear of the RX350 to carry loose items that would usually roll around. Take a look at the handles that you have right here on the right side, or the passenger side of the RX350 of the rear of it. So you see R and L, and so whenever you pull this, it is going to release the seat there, and it folds it right down. That is a great touch. Now the other one is going to be for the left side, so let's pull that one and then fold down that as well. And here's one of the things that's very pleasantly surprising about this back seat. When you need to fold it back up, it is so easy to fold it back up. And that's all you got to do. And so now with that folded back up, I can approach the RX350 and do the kick thing again, and it would close. But for this demonstration, I'm going to push the button here. You can also close it manually here if you wish, but I'm going to push the button there and close it up. Let's take a look at the key of the RX350. You can see here on the very top, you have lock, then below that unlock, hold, and then hold again. The first hold is going to be for your power rear door. The second hold is going to be for your panic alarm. That key has basically been the same for years and years, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. In order to use it, all you have to do is have this key fob on your person and then approach the RX and grab the handle. And then when you're finished using the RX350, there is a little dimple right here on the door handle, and all you have to do is touch that and the doors lock. Now you also notice that there is a dimple on the same location on the rear door as well. So what that means is that the back door handle is also compatible with use for your key fob. And so what I can do is just tap the button there and it locks. Now something that you may be hearing is some noise coming from this area. That is because the locking and the unlocking of the fuel door is connected to the locking and the unlocking of the regular doors. Watch this. Listen for this. I'm going to grab the door handle. So now that the doors are unlocked, all I have to do to open the gas door is push it in and it pops right open, and then that is how you access the fuel door. So that whenever the doors are locked, just like this, now you're not getting in there. Cool little safety trick. So let's hop inside the RX350 and take a look at some of the interior features. And as you would expect, the inside of the RX350 FSport is, just like the name implies, very sporty. You can see you've got stitching there on the leather portion of the steering wheel, and it looks like it's that same type of ventilated material that's on the front seats, but the stitching is really super nice. You can see it's that blue contrast FSport stitching. I love that. Then you have your FSport emblem there, just below the brushed aluminum look on the steering wheel as well. And as I mentioned, on your back door panels and on the edge of the seats, you have that white soft touch material right there that continues up into the front and on the dash or on the center console there. And notice that there's no wood. You have a striated looking aluminum trim that is surrounding the cup holders, and also your blue stitching on the boot for the gear shifter, gear selector. That's such a cool look with that white material. I love that. Let's start it up and take a look at the gauges. As long as you have the key fob on your person, all you have to do is put your foot on the brake and then tap the start button right there. Now watch this right here on the nav system. Isn't that nice? Or on the multi-information display. And then you have your FSport cluster right there, all in the middle. Nice and sporty. I love the fact that you've got your digital speedometer in the middle of that big dial, and then your digital tachometer. That is such a neat look. And then you've got your beautiful display screen right there. We're going to go over all of those features in detail. Taking a look at the top of the armrest on the driver's side there, you have your controls for your windows, also your power folding mirrors, and your door locks, of course. You can see a button here that says auto. So when you press auto, that automatically folds the rear view mirrors in when you cut the RX350 off. And you've got a button here. I'm going to press that in just a second, and I'll show you what that does. So here we go. I'm going to push this and watch what happens. It folds the mirror in, and notice you don't even hear that motor. Man, that is so nice. That's just a nice, unspoken, luxurious touch that the motor operation for things like that is super quiet. I love that. Of course, all of your windows are one touch up and down automatic in the RX350. And then you can see where it says set 1, 2, 3 right there on the door panel. That's going to be to customize the seat, steering wheel, and mirror position for up to 3 people. So when you set all of those things, your seat, your steering wheel, and mirror, you can press set and then 1, or set 2, set 3, and those are your custom configurations right there for up to 3 drivers. And now over on the right side, you have a knob right there, silver knob, and it says Eco, Push, Normal, and Sport. And then there is a locking center differential button there on the bottom left, traction control off on the right. But then right there, that's called selectable drive modes. And when it's in Eco, I can turn it for Eco to the left, and you'll see Eco mode right there displayed in the middle of that big FSport display. And that's going to control something called throttle mapping in order to make it drive more efficiently. It requires more pedal travel of the accelerator in order to achieve speed there. Then you have Sport, so I can roll it over to the right. And you can see Sport right there in that display. What Sport is going to do, it's the opposite of Eco. Sport is going to give you a more aggressive feel whenever you're driving. It's also going to make the accelerator more sensitive. And then you have Normal, so you can push it. This gauge cluster turns dark and there's nothing displayed, no Eco, no Sport. But Normal is like a combination of Eco and Sport. And then moving over further to the left, I love this stitching here for the FSport, but you have a soft touch hand rest right there, and this is fixed. There's nothing underneath it, it doesn't move. But you've got an arrow here, and then this haptic feedback touch system that Lexus has here, and with home, menu, and a back button. All of this corresponds with what happens whenever you touch that haptic feedback pad right here on this multi-information display. And we'll get into this in just a minute, but whenever I move that around, you can see that it corresponds with what I'm doing with my finger down on this pad. So I can press menu, and then I can see a menu of different items that I can select there. And then you can see the gear shifter here. It's in park right now, so if I put my foot on the brake, I can put it in reverse, and then pops up a beautiful display. This is a really, really nice display there. And you can see that there are yellow lines, and those yellow lines are what's called dynamic, so that whenever I turn the steering wheel, you can see that whole grid turns with the same movement of the steering wheel. So what that's telling me is that if I keep the steering wheel in this position, that yellow pattern right there tells me that's where the car is going to end up. You can see that there are blue lines right there on the screen, and they're fixed in the screen. They don't move. They're not dynamic. They're static. And so whenever I'm trying to back up into a space, as long as the yellow lines up with the blue, then I know that I'm getting in the space in a straight way. So that's good. Pulling it straight down, that's neutral. Then that's drive. And at any speed, I can shift it out of drive into manual. And then right there under the speed, I can see M1. So I can push up or toward the front of the RX, and that's going to gear up, or I can pull it down toward the rear of the RX, just like this. And this is upshift, and this is downshift. And then at any speed, I can flip it right back over and just continue to drive as normally. I'm going to shift it up into park. Then you'll notice that this lights up. You see that? That light came on, and that light is the automatic parking brake. There's no emergency brake that you have to activate or deactivate with your foot on the left side anymore. It's got an automatic parking brake. So once you put the vehicle in park, it automatically engages the parking brake there. This is called brake hold. In order to use brake hold, I have to put the RX in drive, and then I can push hold. And you can see right here, and I'm not moving right now, but you can see hold and hold. One is amber colored and one is green. So what that means is that the brake hold feature is active. And even though I'm in drive, right now I can take my foot off the brake, and now the RX350 stays completely still. So when I pull up to a stoplight, I can just come to a complete stop, and that when that amber light lights up, then I know that the feature is actually active. Let me show you how that works in real time. So now, again, remember, it's in drive. So all I have to do to release brake hold is just tap the accelerator. And now you can see brake hold is off. Well, or is not active. See, the amber light went away. So I'm gonna come to a complete stop. And now it's active again. I can take my foot off the brake. And then once the red light turns green, all I have to do is tap the accelerator again to go. Notice that whenever I am going, so I'm going to tap the accelerator gently and just start to roll forward, and it took it off again. Notice that that green hold button or icon is on. That lets me know that the feature is available. Come to a complete stop. That lets me know that the feature is active. That's brake hold. That's a great feature for whenever you're at a stoplight and you don't want to have to keep your foot on the brake the whole time. By the way, whenever you get into the RX350, you do have to activate that every single time. Heated and ventilated front seat controls are all right there. You also have a little storage area for your cell phone. That is a great use of that space. And then you have 2.1 amp chargers right there for your devices. And then check this out. I love this. This came out a while ago in the RX350. The floor of this cup holder goes down. So if you've got a really tall water bottle, you can put it there and it'll hold it. And then if you've got a shorter water bottle, you can just push this and it'll raise the floor of that cup holder back up. Isn't that a great feature? I love that. Okay, now let's take a look at the steering wheel controls. Over here on the left side, you have volume up, volume down, and then this is like station scan or preset scan, or if you're listening to music via your iPhone or Android, you can just move that up and down. Or if you want to, you're streaming a something on Pandora or something like that, one of the apps, that's going to be your up and down. Then mode is going to be right here. That controls your AM, FM, XM, CD, all that. You can just change different modes right here. And then you have voice commands right here. Then you have Bluetooth pickup and hang up right here on the bottom left of the steering wheel. On the right side, you have a multi-directional keypad with a little select button right there in the middle of the keypad. And then you have a back arrow. And then you have a pages icon. I'll show you all what that has to do with. And basically all of these things on the right side have to do with controls that are going to be in the center console there. And then right here is going to be lane trace assist, and it also has to do with steering assist being active or not active. And then you have your radar cruise control right here. This is actually the distance that the RX350 is going to maintain between you and the vehicle in front of you when you have your radar cruise control active. And then over here on the left side, you have a downshift paddle, and over here on the right side, you have an upshift paddle. So while you're driving the RX350, you can change gears. You can downshift on the left, upshift on the right. And right now we're looking at our turn signal stalk. This is also going to be for our headlights. You can see here on the very bottom it says DRL off. That's daytime running lights off. Auto makes it so that the headlights work automatically at night. As the sun goes down, the RX can sense it and it will cut on your headlights automatically. Parking lights and headlights on manually. This is going to be fog lights, and I always recommend keeping your fog lights on anytime that it's raining or it's foggy, of course. And then you can push this away from you and it will cut on the high beams. That was already forward, but that is to cut on the high beams. And then here's a cool little trick. You can just tap it down and not fully engage it. And that's a 3-blink lane change indicator. So check this out. I don't fully activate it. This is fully activated, all the way engaged. That's when you're sitting at a stoplight or a stop sign. But this is lane change. Great feature. And then your windshield wiper stalk is going to be over here on the right side, and you can see where it says auto. And auto is rain sensing wipers. So the default position and the words that you see right here, mist, off, auto, low, high, have to do with the position that this stalk is engaged in. And the default position is off. So when I push it up once, that's mist, and they just wiped once, then it went back down to off. I'm going to pull it down once, it goes to auto, and it wipes once to let me know auto has been engaged. At that point, I can use this to control the sensitivity of the auto sensing or the rain sensing wipers. Then low, then high, low, auto, off. And then this is going to be rolling the end of this stalk forward and back, is going to have to do with controlling the rear wiper and the rear wiper wash as well. And now we're going to take a look at the function of the right side of the steering wheel, the multi-directional keypad, the select button there in the middle, the back arrow, and the pages icon. We're also going to be taking a look at these buttons as well. So right now I'm going to use the multi-directional keypad up, down, left, and right. You can see in the top left right here where the eye icon is highlighted. I'm going to push it right. There's audio, radar cruise, warning messages, and settings. Then it goes back to information. I was just pressing the right arrow on that multi-directional keypad on the front of the steering wheel. I'm going to press that down now, so you can see there's my current miles per gallon, average after reset, range after refuel, eco indicator. That's kind of neat. That lets you know if you're how efficient or lack thereof your driving is in real time. And then that's pretty cool. That's something that is on the FSport model. I think it's called an accelerometer or something like that. It basically lets you know the G-forces. I'm sure you guys will correct me in the comment section as to whether or not that's actually called an accelerometer. Maybe you can help me out there. Tire pressure monitor system, that's nice. It maintains, or it lets you know what the tire pressure is in real time. This is part of your all-wheel drive system to let you know which wheels are getting power in real time. And then that's units, whether it's miles per hour or kilometers per hour. So now I'm going to press right and audio is off. That will display what you're listening to in real time, whether it's Bluetooth, FM, AM, XM, that type of stuff. Then right here is going to be your radar cruise control. I just pressed the end of the cruise stalk, the cruise control stalk where it says on off. And now it says radar ready. Now on the face of the steering wheel on the bottom right is the radar cruise icon. I just pressed it, and that is 3 blue blocks. That's the greatest distance it's going to maintain away from the vehicle in front of you when radar cruise is active. So let's say you're cruising down the highway, you're going 70, and you want it to maintain the greatest distance away from the vehicle in front of you. That's what you do. I'm going to press that button again. That's the next greatest, and that's the least distance that it's going to maintain between you and the vehicle in front of you. That's radar cruise control. Then I'm going to move it over to the right again. No messages, and then settings. So this settings one is going to be where you're going to want to spend most of your time whenever you get this vehicle, because this all has to do with safety features. And so I'm going to press all the way up to the top. All right, starting with LTA, that's lane trace assist. I'm going to push the middle of the multi-directional keypad, and this allows me to control the different settings of lane trace assist. So lane trace assist, lane centering. Do you want the RX350 to try to keep you in the middle of your lane? So lane center, that is on, and what that means is that the RX is going to nudge the steering wheel left and right to try to keep you in the middle of your lane, in the center of your lane. Steering assist is on, so that means it is going to try to nudge you left and right. That's just letting you know. Alert type. This is neat. You can hear the buzzing of the steering wheel. Listen. You hear that? So the steering wheel will vibrate when you're getting outside of your lane. Or you can make it beep, and that's the speaker icon right there. Then sensitivity is high. Sway warning is on. Sway sensitivity is standard. So now I'm going to back out, hit the back arrow. PCS is pre-collision system. And how do you want the sensitivity of that to be? So pre-collision system, that's a feature you never want to use because, like the name implies, it only takes effect pre-collision, so when you're about to have a wreck. BSM is blind spot monitor. Do you want that on? Brightness of the display, and that's what's in the mirror. Your blind spot monitor warning is going to be in the side mirrors. That's a great feature. I always recommend keeping that on. And now we're going to take a look at this center display here that's sticking up out of the dash of the RX350. It's a good looking display. I'm going to be using the touch sensitive haptic feedback keypad here that's located directly behind the gear shifter. So I'm just using my finger to move it around, and I can feel it, and you can probably hear it moving around. That's nice because it kind of lets you know what screen you're on based on the feel of the pad itself. So, and then whenever you want to make a selection, all you have to do is double tap that selection, or you can press the whole pad down. You can see here on the bottom it says reorder. I'm going to press reorder, and then I'm going to select, let's go, and what reorder is it allows me to move one of these selections as number 1, number 2, number 3, depending on my usage of the audio source. So I'm going to pick Bluetooth because I stream a lot, and then I'm going to go down and move and go over to the left, and I'm going to move that all the way over to number 1 position. Isn't that neat? And then I would imagine if you use XM radio, you would want to select that and then move that to the number 2 position. So that's how you reorder the display screen or the audio source screen based on how much you use it. Pretty neat feature. I just hit the back arrow. Here is your phone. There's no Bluetooth devices registered. I don't want to add one now, but because we're doing this whole tutorial, but that's where you're going to add your Bluetooth phone to the vehicle. Projection, this is where you can basically project from your screen whatever is on the whatever is on the screen of your phone onto the screen of your RX350 right here. But it has to be connected via USB device, and that's what you saw down below in the center console. Info right here, and this is going to be all trip information. And you can see all the lines on this are going to be, kind of colored in, and it's going to look like a graph once you've been driving the RX350 for some time. And then owner's manual, I love that. So you've got literally an electronic owner's manual all right here in the RX350. Isn't that great? So now I can just go and I can take a look and scroll around and see any of the stuff that I'm showing you right now, all from my vehicle, my owner's manual. I absolutely love that, and I would recommend going and looking at all of this whenever you get your RX350, and make sure that you know exactly what you're doing. Look at that. We just looked at the turn signal lever, and so there it is. That is just so cool. And see that? We'll flash 3 times if you wanted to. That's great. So that's where you're going to go, and I'm hitting the back arrow now, the top right. And so that's where you're going to go and spend some time looking around to make sure you know how to use your RX350. And then you have setup. And so this is where I really recommend also spending some time, because whenever I swipe over to the far left, I can see I can go to setup for general, Bluetooth, audio, phone, voice, vehicle. And so this is actually where, so I just pressed vehicle, and so now I have vehicle customization, and so now I can customize the RX350 in these categories: door lock settings, climate settings, light settings, and other. So under door lock settings, this is so cool. Do I want the doors to automatically lock when I shift the gear shifter to park? No. Then do I want it to do it by speed, or do I want to turn that off? So I recommend keeping it in this one so that the doors automatically lock by shifting it from P. Isn't that great? I love that feature. So when you shift it away from park, the doors are automatically going to lock when you go to drive. Doors automatically unlock by shifting it to park. Here's the thing. I would actually recommend, honestly, to deactivate that, because if you think about it, the doors are automatically going to unlock whenever you shift it to park. You don't necessarily want to do that if you're going to be in your car for a little while. So go there and cut that off, or you can do it by driver door. So this is where you can go, and you can go climate settings and light settings. In fact, you can adjust the sensitivity of your headlights whenever you have it in auto and the sun's going down. You can determine when your headlights cut on, all that wonderful stuff. Isn't that cool? Back arrow again a few times. So now that was just inside of general or vehicle. So you can imagine all the different things that you can control and customize all within setup. And now taking a look at the climate control settings, the first thing that I want to point out is dual zone climate control. You can see a little red arrow right there and a blue arrow facing down. Well, you have that same thing over on the passenger side as well. So that means that the passenger can control their level of comfort, heat or cool. Then you see auto, and whenever you press auto, it makes it work just like the central air in your house. It's going to automatically keep the cabin at that temperature whenever you press auto. And then you have right there the manual fan speed adjustment, little fan, big fan. Then you have dual. Whenever dual is pressed and it's lit up, that means your dual zone climate control is active, and the passenger can control their side if it's different from the driver. Front defrost is there on that bottom row, and then your rear defrost and side mirror defrost, because your side mirrors are heated. That's that button there. And then you have mode, or basically the fan direction, where the fan is going to point whenever you do cut the climate system on. Then recirculate. Normally I finish up a video by standing outside the vehicle and getting one last kind of glimpse at it. I'm not doing that this time because it's too dang cold and windy outside. So there. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope this helps you enjoy your ride. Remember, hit that subscribe button. And also, I would like to say another huge thank you to Flo Lexus of Greensboro. Boy, you should come see this facility. It's fantastic. For the opportunity to film this beautiful Lexus RX350, be sure you take a look at their website from the description box below. But also remember, the most important thing of all, have a wonderful day, everybody.